what should a good coach do? I get a million questions like this all the time. Like, what do you bring to the table? This and that. In my humble opinion, and there's a lot of opinions out there. They're like that saying, opinions are like belly buttons or something like that, right? Where the umbilical cord comes in. It's a good analogy. Um, in my opinion, a good coach should help you fill in the gaps of what you already know and get you ready and comfortable to kind of jump out of the nest on your own, right? And that should be able to be done. In my programs, it doesn't last more than 3 months. The key is, can the person do the work and are they coachable? A lot of times students will be like, I know everything about charts. I've read all the books. So my response is not to sound like an appendage that's beneath your belly button. I say, well, why aren't you making any money then for everything that you know? And I remind people, like, yes, I went to really good school. I read all the books. I even met all the market wizards. I got their cell numbers in my damn phone. But at the end of the day, I have to execute. All that stuff doesn't mean anything. So the preparation should be on the coaching side. Like, I know what I have to do to prepare for the market starting Sunday night. Then I have the post-mortem. It's like, what does the student know? What do they feel? What feelings do they like to feel? How can you marry up their behavior or what are good trading practices with their emotional constitution, with the amount of time, money, and effort that they have, given that they might be working a 9 to 5 job, or they have an RIA, or they might be in a family office, that type of a deal. What is the goal? Because if someone says, hey, what do you think about NVIDIA right here? I'm like, I don't know. What's your goal? How do you know? Maybe it's time to sell it short, right? So without knowing what the person's goal is, there is no one who can help coach you. If you're that person, you need to know what you're doing it for. And it's not like, oh my God, I want to make $1 million. That's not really a goal. That's like saying I want to lose 10 pounds in New Year's resolution. You need to have a process. The process depicts your behavior, and the behavior predicts where you end up. So you want to make money? Okay. A better goal would be like, let's define a goal. How do you make big money? Well, you have a small position that moves very, very big, or you have a big position that moves very, very small. So which style are you? Because if you have really big positions, sure, you can risk 2 or 3 cents if you're that good and you have that kind of timing on the short end of things, if as a scalper. But if you don't, you open yourself to outsized losses. And so now you have to think about, again, expected value. What is the expected value of your trading strategy? That's where the compatibility comes up with. What's your financial goal? Well, once you have and this is to me all part of the coaching, is like, what is your financial goal? Then what's the expected value of what you know how to do right now? Where can you expand that, right? Because your goal really should be to increase your expected value over time. You see? Then you can figure out, well, how many trades would you need over 250 trading days in the year to what would be the result of that with that average expected value, which is a weighted average, right? Are you anywhere near what your stated goal is? And if you're not, if your expected value suggests you make 250K, but your goal was 1 million, well, now what can we do to change? Because you have to change the man, or you got to change the man, right? So bring your goal down. Well, I don't know. I don't want to compromise. Okay, well, that might mean that you have to extend your holding period so that you let your small winners become bigger winners. That requires testing. That's all customized work. I can do it for you or do it with you, with simulators, or, you might have to increase your position size. You might have to increase your sense of leverage. So we get all of that compatible also with the time, money, and the effort that you have, right? So I think anyone it doesn't have to be paid, right? Anyone can give you advice. Anyone who's like a senior leader type of a deal, you could call it coaching, mentoring, consulting. Doesn't matter to me what you call it, because it's all, to me, it's a function of my time. I don't have a lot of time. So I have to kind of set up, the consulting in a certain way so that it works for me and it works for everybody else. They're getting good value. But it doesn't have to be paid. So those are all the considerations that you should, some of them anyway, that you should, be considering when you're looking to build out your career as a trader, and have that person help hopefully uncover your blind spots. I give away what I think is the most valuable stuff, which is here on the YouTube channel, and to do the audio only versions on Spotify and Stitcher and Google Podcasts, and I guess it's called Apple Podcasts now. So I syndicated the audio version, or on the audio only platform still. But how to get that person up and running so that they know what they're doing, they have a plan, they're prepared, they know exactly what they're going to do any given day, they know it's a game of probabilistic outcomes, and they have the discipline to stick with it. The folks who aren't coachable, I don't even work with them, because I know they're going to not do the work, and that if things go wrong, they're going to end up blaming me. So the interviews are like, they're really two-way. And if they're not committed, or if they have to want to break up the payments, to me that shows they're not committed. You have to jump in and burn your bridges. I mean, burn the boats. Don't burn bridges. That's bad. Don't burn bridges. But like Cortez, you got to burn the boats. There's no place to escape to. You put your head down, you do the work, and you guarantee your own success. So where I rise to the challenge is to work with the client at their pace. Sometimes they can move very, very quickly. Sometimes they have to go slowly. Sometimes we have to pad it with a week, but and take 2 weeks over certain lessons. But to me, that's what I think a good coach should do, of any shape or size. Doesn't matter, again, whether you're paying for it or whatever. But there has to be a period of time when the coach can look you in the eye and say, our work here is done. Because if I'm doing my job, I make myself obsolete. I hope you have a great weekend. You can watch these videos here.